Hey guys, Cole here. Before we dive into the tutorial, I'd first like to thank all the new members of the Rocket League community for your amazing feedback and amazing suggestions. The response has been so much more than we expected, and you guys are incredible. We spent hours combing through all the comments we received before deciding to focus our second tutorial on camera settings and ball cam. We'll do the same thing before we start work on video 3. In this episode, I'll look at the theory of fiddling with your camera. After that, Kronovi will talk through his own ball cam usage over the top of some sweet high-level gameplay. Okay, enough talking. Let's get this party started. Just as soon as I share this awesome photo of my teammate Digdog meeting Kronovi in real life for the first time earlier today. Unlike most console games, Rocket League lets you get under its hood and really tinker with its mechanics. The biggest potential game change is the camera settings. There can be tactical advantages to changing your settings, and it's worth playing around to see what works for you in the long term, even if the changes can feel strange in the short term. When you enter your camera settings, you're going to see these options. In my opinion, the two most important settings are the field of view and camera distance options, which dictate the fisheye-ness of your camera and how far away it actually is from your car, respectively. The other settings you can make are far more cosmetic, such as how much your camera shakes in impactful situations or how much it locks on your car when you turn. A high field of view will show you more of the field, but some may feel this sacrifices car control. Personally, I like it high, as map awareness is so important in Rocket League, and knowing where your opponents are can be crucial. Check out how hard it is to see what's going on when your field of view is super low. You can see I'm making pretty clean contact with the ball, but knowing where my opponents are, and more importantly where my teammates are, is just non-existent. It's impossible. Moving my field of view back, combined with sitting back and waiting for the ball to pop out before making my shot, gives me much more awareness of how the game is going on and how I can score a goal. Remember that these are only my opinions, and that Fyshokid pretty much rolls with the default camera settings and Kronovi's are slightly different to mine. Personally though, as I said, I'd recommend a high field of view. Changing the camera distance is how far away the camera is from your car. Turn it up high to see even more of the map, but bear in mind you really can sacrifice control of your car when doing this. It's tough to judge dribbling and making contact with the ball well, and the ball is just so far away that you can't see what's going on. To be honest, there's no perfect way to tweak your settings. However, many Battlecast vets have taken to using the Lascinio. Lascinio settings can be seen in the screenshot now. To many of us, these provide the perfect balance between control of your car and awareness of the field. I'll show you some highlights of the game I had while using them. I'm not saying you'll be able to do moves like this straight away, but to me, I find that they help. Here's me playing a 3v3. Notice how I always seem to know what's going on around me. Keep an eye out for how rarely I use my right analog stick to move my camera around. I think in fact the only time I change my camera at all is to see where my teammates are spawned on kickoff, or see what's behind me by pressing R3. This isn't including ball cam of course, which we'll look at in a second. Similarly, I'm at no disadvantage when lining up shots, so it's really the best of both worlds. In fact, I noticed that as soon as I switched to these settings, judging wall shots, which is something I struggle with a lot, became way easier. The added field of view seemed to really help me judge where the ball was going to end up, before it did even hit the wall. Personally, I highly recommend the Lascinio, but you shouldn't take my word for it. Fyshokid and Kronovi use completely different settings to me. If you're completely comfortable with your own settings, stick with them and get better and better with them. If you do try out these ones and instantly start missing every ball, maybe switch a few things around until you find what's right for you. The field of view and camera settings you have to remember are the two most important choices here, as they determine the balance between lining up your shots and knowing what's going on around you. In a second, we'll take a look at ball cam and when to use it and when to leave it off. Before then though, here's a community spotlight from Doomsy, a very experienced and very respected Battlecast player.
Hey guys, Doomsy here. I've been playing Battlecast for over 6 years, so I'm thrilled to help pass on my Rocket League knowledge to you all. My number one tip is that aerials are great, but aren't always the best option. Sometimes you need to stop the ball from going high and take it firmly under your control. This gives you a great opportunity to pass to a teammate, or go for the dribble and score. I hope you all continue to improve, and I look forward to seeing you all progress.
By default, pressing triangle will cause the camera to lock onto the ball at all times. This is a necessary tool for keeping an eye on where the ball is, but it shouldn't be overused. This is because ball cam can screw with your accuracy. As the camera is never truly in line with your car, what looks like a bullet destined for the top corner can become just terrible. Check out this split screen of me doing the all-star shooting drill, with ball cam always off on the left and ball cam always on the right. While neither are world class, you can see that my accuracy is noticeably improved with ball cam off. What this means is that you're going to have to get used to turning ball cam on and off throughout a match if you ever want to compete with the best. You will just have to. Fortunately, we have the best of the best right here. Kronovi himself is going to commentate over the top of some of his own gameplay, pointing out when he's turning ball cam on and when he's turning it off and why. Introducing Kronovi.
Thanks, Cole. Hey everyone, I'm Kronovi. I'm going to be commentating over the top of some of my gameplay and focusing on my use of ball cam. Every time I press triangle, it's for a reason, so hopefully this will help you if you're struggling to know whether to turn it on or off yourself. So, for the first bit of this gameplay, I'm going to be playing without ball cam on at all, and I hope to talk about the weaknesses behind it and how it kind of limits you as a player to never have ball cam on. Of course, having ball cam on too much can be an issue, but I really don't think that ball cam 24/7 is as detrimental as ball cam off 24/7. So right there, you'll notice that I'm going to goal just out of, I'm guessing. I don't know where the ball is because I'm not looking at it. And the way I play goalie isn't looking at the ball usually because that's not efficient. We'll talk about how to play goalie in a later video. But I actually can't see the ball. I have no idea what's happening with it. So if it was in the air or something and I had to make a diving save across the net, I wouldn't know to do that because first I have to turn around and look at the ball, which is very slow and it's very inefficient, and I'm not comfortable doing that. I don't like to not have information. So already no ball cam conflicts with a lot of my interest with this. So here it's a pretty easy shot just because I'm looking at the ball the entire time. But had that shotgun over the back of my head or something, I would have to rely on the indicator. And if I'm looking at the indicator, I can't see anybody else behind me. Even though I wasn't able to score to save this, had I been in a position to be able to save it, I wouldn't have known to save it. Right after that, I wasn't looking at the ball. So let's say he had made a really, really slow hit or something and not followed it up for a goal. I wouldn't have known to come back. I would have had to use the little indicator on the top of my car to first find the ball and then go towards the ball. Like right there on the kickoff, instead of going to fill up my boost and going to the goal, I could have gone to the side boost and chased the offense. But I didn't know to do that. Also with ball cam, it helps me line up some of my shots. I'm sure with ball cam on, I could have made a more powerful shot and probably not right at the goalie. I definitely think a better goalie would have saved that. But ball cam when shooting at that angle is something that I use. So right here, I don't know if that's going in. Usually with ball cam I can tell. And this aerial is just me not being used to aerialing without ball cam. I would recommend using ball cam with your aerials. I definitely think it's way easier to fly, or at least to be accurate with your aerials, if you have ball cam on. You don't have to, but I definitely think that I would recommend using it. So here I go to goal. Once again, I don't know where the ball is. I made the right choice. I went to goal, but then again, it's more of a 50-50. Do I go back to goal or do I go play offense? Because I can't see the ball. And right here's a perfect example of where I can't see the ball. So right here, I know it probably went over my teammates' heads, and I just get in position for the save. I'm sure I could have saved it at an earlier point in its trajectory, or maybe even stopped it from rolling that close, because the ball getting that close is pretty dangerous. If somebody else comes in and sweeps it to the side or takes me out, there's no one else there. I am the last line of defense, and if I'm only ready within a 1 second time period, that's not very safe. So here I turned on ball cam, and the moment I grabbed the boost, I was ready to clear the ball. So I go for that boost, and I immediately turn ball cam on. And I see a play develop where I can turn around. I don't have to go to the goal. I turn around and I can make a shot. That's because I can see the ball at all times, and I know exactly what I can and can't do with the information provided. I can see all of the play that is happening, and right as the opportunity is presented to me, I'm able to be there. Without ball cam on, I don't know to go for that. So once again, I leave ball cam on, and I know to get in the goal. And here I can watch my teammate and see what he's doing, and I turn it on and off real quick just to look at the goalie. Maybe you could say I took his goal, maybe not. But just to be safe, I redirected the shot. But a neat little trick is that if you're kind of ahead or next to the ball, and there's somebody in front of you that you want to look at real quick, just quickly tap it on and off if you're on toggle, and you'll kind of like glance over and glance back. So here's another instance where I can look at the ball, and I can actually intercept the ball before anybody gets there without having to go to the goal. And then, because they all overcommitted, I've got a free goal now. So ball cam lets you play defense before you actually get to your goal. And then you can turn your defense with a good clear into immediate offense. So those are the strengths of ball cam, and I definitely believe that you should try it out if you haven't been playing with ball cam. It's a little bit hard to get used to sometimes. You're not always driving in the direction you're facing, but once you overcome that weirdness with not driving the direction you're facing, I definitely think you will be at a higher advantage than everyone else you play with.